Gemini, month of July 2020. The full moon and lunar eclipse in Capricorn on July 4th can cast an unwelcome shadow on your mood. You want to be out having a good time, but the current world situation is holding you back. Maybe once you take care of your nagging responsibilities, you'll be able to find a way to have some fun. A Chiron retrograde period starts on the 11th, bringing up the chance for deep inner reflection. Look for signs that you're on the right path, and don't cast aside coincidences as meaningless. When you're offered an opportunity to make things better in the future than they were in the past, jump on it, Gemini. If you've ever felt victimized, this is your time to take back your power. Quick thinking Mercury goes direct while in Cancer on July 12th, opening back the lines of communication between you and someone you've recently lost touch with or argued with. The crab offers an eager sense of intuitive energy that can help you find the necessary words to patch things up between the two of you. There's a confusing Mercury-Jupiter opposition on the 13th that could cause you to be overly optimistic about something that you heard or read. And it doesn't help that the people around you might encourage you to overreact or embellish facts and details. Try not to believe the information you get from a third party until you verified it with the source. What is the cosmic, spiritual, intellectual, emotional, social, and physical aspects of the self for Gemini in July of 2020? Spiritual self, temperance. Intellectual self, Five of Pentacles. Physical self, the Empress. Social self, the Chariot. Emotional self, the Emperor. Alright, temperance in your spiritual aspect of self is showing us that you have the enlightenment, but you're a Gemini, so it's not overbearingly enlightenment that you're just sitting there on a mountain like a Buddha. It's more of a balance between the two Gemini, the twins here, and having a purified, harmonious spiritual self. Just being in balance with your soul and the conscious collective, or being able to see maybe both sides of an argument. That's your spiritual self. And then you have the Five of Pentacles in your intellectual self. By the way, the spiritual self is connected to intellectual and your emotional self, so these three will show more on your spiritual self. Intellectual self, Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles, intellectual self. This is what you're thinking about, the riots, protests. If you can see here, you got a woman holding the basket with all the goodies, a dude with all the blankets, people with nothing in the background. Everything's in ruins. This also represents a time for charity or generosity is needed, right? And that's what's on your mind. How is that going to play out? What's going on? Who's going to do something about it? How are things going to work out for everyone? Maybe you're one of the people in the protester riots, and we need to think about how this may be impacting more than what you see. And it also relates to the physical self and the spiritual self. With the spiritual or the physical self, the Empress. The Empress, she represents abundance. With physical, you're in July, so it's summer. You can be abundantly out doing good things, recreational, and outdoors, beaches, camping, hiking, all kinds of things. And it also could represent the fact that you're, over. You have plenty to go around, but you don't want to be taken advantage of, right? It's a give and take kind of thing. Um, it also represents Mother Earth. You know how she can give everything she's got, but then she's gonna potentially devastate you, right? But this is physical we're talking about. So you're also, in a situation where you can be that Mother Earth physically, whether you're in a relationship or you're not in a relationship. So you could also be pregnant, or you might be wanting to get pregnant, or you successfully get pregnant in July. So that's the physical aspect, which connects to the intellectual aspect. So you're kind of worried about how that is this a good time, or should I go out and do things? Should I go help, be generous? Also, your social aspect, the Chariot. The Chariot card here in the social here is there's a guy riding a horse away from this castle. Um, the horses are different colors, black or white. This may play into the racism that has been brought up as of lately. If you're watching this in July, think of back to the June riots. But in July, you're gonna be like, "Hey, who's with me? If you're not, I'm gone." Um, so you're cutting loose ends or cutting off people or bringing people with you, but there might be a pulling away from each other. These two might be causing the Chariot to end up flipping over, getting in an accident or something. Um, so you're playing like peacekeeper in a sense as well. It's a little bit of a turmoil. It also has to do with physical, or not physical, sicknesses could possibly, like people like the COVID-19 stuff, or anything that has to do with the health of others. Um, and then causing a bit of an emotional strain, but I don't see that too much. You got the Emperor here in the emotional, but it does relate to the physical. So you have enough to. It's like the Chariot is between being generous or selfish and having a balance of the two. I mean, with your spiritual, the Five of Pentacles, I think that's kind of all playing together here. And then, so the Emperor here in your emotional. With the Emperor in the emotional self, you have that disciplinarian aspect there in your emotional self. It is the divine masculine, and then you have the divine feminine down here in your physical self. If you're a female, this is pretty good balance here with the Emperor. Um, the Carl Jung psychology aspect of the self, having the animus or um, the anima. I think it is animus or anima aspect there, balance. If you're a male and you have the Emperor here in your emotional, that you might want to go check that out. I also have a Patreon where I talk about this, but the Emperor can be a little ruthless, or like it correlates with the social self here with the Chariot. Like I'm doing what I have to do. I'm going. I'm moving. If you're with me or not, that's on you, right? That's your attitude with the emotions you possibly might be coming up throughout the month of July. And once again, it relates to the spiritual self, where you're like, I gotta keep this balance here with my spiritual self, and keep it all. I don't have time for uh, succubus or succubi or energy vampires. I gotta do what I need to do. Universal fantasy. What do we have for the spiritual, intellectual, emotional, physical, and social aspects of the self, Gemini, in July of 2020? For the spiritual self, we have the Knight of Cups. For the intellectual self, we have the Three of Wands. For the physical self, we have the Page of Swords. For the social self, we have the Seven of Swords. And for the emotional self, we have the Two of Wands. With the Knight of Cups here, he's a centaur on the move to get more water in his cup. He doesn't realize that there's water right there behind him, but maybe he came from a different angle and didn't see that. He's just charging forward, right? And since the cup's empty and we're looking at temperance as well, she's pouring out her emotions into the universe, right? This is all spiritual, right? We're talking about. So the spiritual self here, you have looking for that renewal through of emotions or concerns, trying to keep things balanced. So this means that the journey's not over. You're going to be working on it through the whole month, and you might continue past that. But you're doing the right stuff. You're doing the right work. You're spiritually keeping yourself aligned, and maybe even doing the information gathering or education on spiritual or religious or whatever it is that you do for your spiritual self. And with the Three of Wands here in the intellectual self, it has to do with enjoying the journey, being like kid-like with your fantastical life or your fantastical journey that you've been through, the stuff you've been through, and being on top of the Five of Pentacles here. It's kind of like looking for a way out almost, or looking for a way to for solutions, or but that itself is the journey. So don't get over frustrated with your thoughts or what's going on in your mind. Just it's kind of like just wait it out and keep going, and it'll work itself out. Don't cause the boat to tip over and you fall off. With the Page of Swords here on the physical aspect, it's that enduring through the trials and tribulations of the truths that you may have to be dealing with. I mean, the Empress here is showing that you have what it takes. You're worth it. You know you're worth it, and don't turn your back on it. Just keep going. Keep enduring the physical aspect of yourself, whether it's financial or working out um, or enjoying the nature, going outdoors, the abundance you have. Just hold on tight and you'll make it. With the Seven of Swords here in your social aspect, logic and perseverance will help you with the social aspects. It'll keep the chariot going without falling over or collapsing or the horses getting tangled up. So logic and perseverance. So back here, the Page of Swords in your physical aspect, standing tall, holding that flag, knowing you have enough intellect and knowledge and truth here to hold off these demons or these swarms of nasty things that potentially isn't really going to do anything. Let me show you that card there. So just stand tall and be that leader that you know you are. With the Two of Wands here in your emotional self, this is documenting that where you've been or where you're going. So you know, like, it's navigation, right? But it also has to do with the past, what you've conquered, so that way you don't forget. With the Emperor here, this divine masculine, it's things could fall apart if you didn't acknowledge where you've been, what you've done, and where you're going, and how it all plays. Because it's easy to fall in vicious cycles of repeating history. So this is telling you that your emotional self, back with the spiritual self and the social self, need to keep going in a new direction. And by knowing how that knowing your paths, you'll know that new direction. Epic, spiritual, intellectual, emotional, social, and physical self. Gemini, July 2020. For spiritual self, you have the Unicorn of Spheres. For intellectual self, you have the Ace of Spheres. Physical self, Two of Spheres. Social self, Three of Books. Emotional self, Seven of Spheres. 4 out of 5 are spheres. The Unicorn of Spheres tells us to connect to the divine, or the unified field of consciousness. If you want to know more about that, go to my Patreon. And then, the Knight of Cups is looking for that. He's looking for the Unicorn of Spheres to help him fill his cup. The Unicorn of Spheres knows where the infinite spiritual life force, water here, emotions, whatever, is. And that's what you're looking for with the Temperance here. I mean, your cup has to be poured out to get new water. The water will be stale, right? And the sun's shining, so you don't leave it out, it'll evaporate, it'll just go away. So you have to keep refilling that cup and connecting to, the divine essence of who you are and what your divine purpose is, or your destiny. That's what this is all about right here. Just keep working on it, and you'll be fine. The Ace of Spheres and the intellectual. The Ace of Spheres represents infinite creativity, or having enough to create whatever you want to create. So with it being in the intellect here, remember the boat, don't fall off of it. Keep going. Don't let this ruin everything. Just let this be a lesson, or let this be a reminder to what you're trying to do, what you're trying to create. Enough for everybody, right? I mean, you are Gemini, you can do that. You can, and I mean, not everyone in the world, but maybe your thoughts and your prayers can help, right? Staying positive will help other people stay positive. Because this isn't about physical, this is about your thoughts. This is about being mindful, and maybe coming up with new ideas to help people out, or help people with solutions that they're looking for, or maybe even help you with solutions. Maybe you need to take time out for yourself and meditate, or think about what you can do for yourself. The Two of Spheres here is talking about having fun with what you have. Okay, he's playing with his ball, and he's got a little pet here, a mystical creature, whatever. if you can see that. But so remember, since you have enough and you need to stand up and do the right thing, and you have the Empress, divine feminine, abundance or creative abundance, so you can create solutions to have enough to play with others, or maybe you need to spend a little fraction of what you've got, whether it's any kind of physical aspect, if you've been a little prude, maybe you should go out and date and have a little fun, whatever, because the whole social distancing and whatnot. In July, it's time to go have some fun with the physical aspects of yourself. Three bucks here in your social self is all about knowing your decision that you've made and going through with it and having faith that no matter what happens, I'm going to enjoy myself and have fun with this. It's like writing a book or reading a book and not knowing where it's going, and having fun in that. Remember, with the Seven of Swords, just keep perseverance and logic and keep the chariot going in the right path. And don't let people squabble or whatever that word is, that they bicker and fight with each other, or try to cross paths, and just keep them on the right path, and don't let them, because this is social, right? This is all about the people you care about and want to take with you. So you got to be the peacekeeper, but keep that logic, stand tall, be that leader. Don't be afraid of what doubts or worries you may have, and just know that you'll be fine and have faith. With the Seven of Spheres here in your emotional self, this is about getting maybe advice from an expert, or so if you're emotionally concerned about somebody, a leader or somebody that's a leader in your life that can help you, go talk to them about your emotions. But remember, you had the Two of Wands here, and knowing your past and helping you figure out where you're going. And the Emperor, he's stubborn for a reason, because he knows not to do, from what he's learned from his past, not to do certain things or not to go certain ways. And if you need help, you got that leader or hierophant or whatever you want to call him there waiting to help you. And remember, we had the Empress in the physical self, so if you're pregnant, which shows a couple here dealing with pregnancy, getting advice from this guy, from the doctor or whoever is in your life that you're dealing with, just keep your emotions balanced through the meanings of these cards that I'm telling you. Talk about your past, possibly. And just be faithful. Foxfire the Kitsune, what message do you have for Gemini in July of 2020? Tending the future? It's time now, beloved one, to tend to the future and to what will come, for there is a tender and vulnerable possibility, which is the process of being nurtured into the next stage of its maturity. Find the way to protect this sweet, young, and lovely hope, and take care of it well, so well that it will come into life at a stage closer to you than you think possible. It is your job now to garner your own hopes, and to allow the most fragile of beginnings to have enough of your care that it will make it through to the next stage. Prepare and plan, consider and contemplate, and do the hardest work yourself. The Kitsune who walk with you at this time urge you to become the very spirit of the green, and it will work with you. walk with you and whisper to you all the things that need to be done, that only you can do. This tending of the future will make the present purposeful and fill it with devotion and richness, and the emotional qualities you bring to this time of preparation will be the very feelings that bloom the brightest once this dream has flowered. So prune that so prune what must be reduced. Clear the earth of weeds and enrich the soil. Change poor habits that steal time and energy from you with no reward. Make a promise to devote time to yourself and to learn, and to finally see the seeds you plant erupt into green life, searching for the sun. You will have success, friend, so say the Kasuni, but it will be due to the tending, the caring, the learning, the moments you give, the choices you make now. Here comes the future. Make this present moment feed the very best version of what will come to you. What power animal has a message for Gemini in July 2020? Giraffe. Foresight. You are able to see what is in store for the future. It is so easy to get your nose stuck to the ground and only pay attention to what's right in front of you. This is especially true when the world is making hundreds of demands on you and there's no time to stop and assess where you're going with all this. The delusions of urgency that grip so many humans prevent you from looking ahead, from taking the time to look into the future and consider the consequences of your present actions. Yes, it's good to live in the present, yet at the same time, it can be equally important to see what lies ahead and set your sights accordingly. Even though no one can predict the future with any absolute certainty, at this time you can see with great clarity what lies ahead. So pause for a few moments, step back a bit, and look forward. What do you see? What do you want to see? It's only when you stop and look at the horizon beyond what's right in front of you that you can get a glimpse of what's to come. Then you can set your intentions and organize your plans in accordance with what is yet to be. Additional associations: prophecy, divination, risk-taking, gentleness. Keepers of the Light, who has a message for Gemini in July of 2020? Diana. Focused intention. Think about what you desire. Set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. Diana is the Roman moon goddess of the hunt. She is also known as Artemis in Greek mythology, where she has similar attributes. She is often depicted with wild animals around her, and as she is associated with the moon, she connects deeply with the wild beasts that come out at night. She is often seen holding a bow and a quiver of arrows, which signifies her ability to help focus on a vision. She also helps us tune into our intuitive side so that we can listen to the wisdom that will guide us towards our goal. In particular, she encourages women to move into their true power and promotes equality for all souls. Move forward and with unwavering faith, knowing that the universe is supporting you. Diana is helping you awaken your divine ability to manifest what you deserve. Any fear is only a reminder that whatever you are working on or through is an important issue for your growth. Your focus is strong now and will be particularly powerful at the full moon. You may be aware of night owl tendencies. This is because your angels and guides are sending you important messages that you may be missing during the day due to a busy schedule. Set some time aside to do a deep meditation to receive the guidance. Sacred Power, what message do we have for Gemini in July of 2020? Divine Consciousness. Reference to my Patreon if you want to know more. Working with divine consciousness, we can open ourselves to deep thought and meaning that cannot be described in normal language. It is felt and expressed with the heart and higher self. Peace, bliss, divine power, and unlimited expansion awaits you when you consciously connect at this level. Between soul and spirit, it is possible to connect our inner being to divine consciousness. Divine consciousness enables us to open our mind to different states of reality and communication. Right now, you are experiencing an awakening. Congratulations. You are rising your consciousness and energetically shifting. Your divine blueprint has been activated into a new state of awareness. You may feel oversensitive, but it will soon pass as you adjust to this new vibration. You are now connected to the healing energy of the divine. Miracles can occur now if you keep a positive mindset. Archangel Gabriel supervises these transitions as you become connected in mind, body, and spirit. Being connected to divine consciousness aligns you with your divine purpose, grows, and expands your spirit, encouraging you to remember who you were before you came into being. You are encouraged to meditate to remove yourself from earthly dramas, gossip, and physical issues. Be gentle with yourself. Eat nutritious food, drink enough water, and get plenty of rest. By connecting to a state of consciousness higher than our mind's physical awareness, we eliminate impurities and toxicity within the body. Spirit, higher thought forms, angelic connections, and animal messages will come clearly now. Keep a journal for the next 21 days to record the thoughts, feelings, and messages, meditation and dream states that may arise or appear to you throughout the day as your body adjusts to these new energies. Prayer. I am at one with divine energy. I allow divinity to flow through me and align my unique vibration to the highest form of universal love. Divine Circus, what message do we have for Gemini in July of 2020? The Proud Pirate. If you are proud of who you are and everything you have learned in your life, free from shame, guilt, or judgment, what would you choose for yourself today? The choices you make for yourself from a place of feeling good are going to be more loving and helpful than anything from a place of self-judgment. You've nothing to regret. You've learned a lot and you are a beautiful, unique being on a wild, divine journey. Be kind to yourself. Keep your head up. Then it will be easier to keep growing and glowing. Dear Wild One, have you felt like you've lost your footing, got a bit clumsy, made a mistake? Have you been second-guessing your choices? Don't you dare doubt you. Be proud of all you've done and how far you've come. Never be ashamed of who you are or the journey you've taken. If you feel that life is getting you down or you should have or could have made different decisions in life, the Oracle of the Proud Pirate comes to you with reassurance. You are doing a great job. You are meant to have learning experiences. What matters is that you choose to learn, and you do. In your own time and your own way, you make sense of things, and you grow wiser and stronger as a person. If the ridicule, judgment, or shaming you are dealing with is not an internal situation, but something you feel is coming from those who would seek to tear you down to make themselves feel better about who they are, a strange but not so rare logic or illogic, then know that the Oracle brings you comfort. You are stronger and wild and more beautiful and true than any of that mean-spirited fearfulness. You might feel as though the fearful ones are killing your joy, but keep your chin up because you are going to get through this and leave it behind. Any mud being slung your way is not going to stick. Let it slide right off or remain stuck in the hands of those throwing it your way. Keep your sense of inner dignity intact. Never make yourself smaller to placate the fear in another's heart. Take pride in who you are. Be proud to be you. And know that this is a way to respect and honor the creative, loving power of the universe that created you. Wisdom of the Oracle, what message do we have for Gemini in July of 2020? a leg up. Receiving help, delegating authority, interdependence. You've come to a point where going it alone is no longer optimal for you. Life has a way of presenting you with the perfect people to align with who can give you a leg up during this next phase of your journey. Help comes to you in all the areas of your life where you need a boost. The trick is to accept that aid so freely given. When you embrace interdependence, allowing teamwork and independence to commingle, miracles happen. Now is such a time. Relationships that are healthy thrive on interdependence. It's important to recognize that you need others as much as they need you. You must allow people to support you, just as you are there for them. This is a time to be vulnerable, to speak up about your needs, and to ask for them to be fulfilled. Trust, you will be met with kindness and love. Don't expect others to read your mind, though. Ask and it is given. Now is the perfect time to seek advice from a mentor or a business advisor who has been where you want to go to help you get there too. If you do, you will receive very good counsel that will aid in your prosperity. It may also be the case that your endeavors have grown and you are in a position where you just can't do it all yourself anymore. Time to bring on those who can give you a leg up. Trust that help is available and it will indeed appear. Delegate authority to others so you can take steps toward your big dream. The perfect people will arrive at the perfect time so long as you step forward with just a mustard seed of faith. Are you always insisting on doing everything yourself? Do you have little faith that help will come? Convinced that the burden of the world is doomed to remain on your shoulders, your beliefs about going it alone need to be discarded as they do not serve you at all. Let others help you. Yes, it will make you feel vulnerable to admit you need a helping hand, but to be vulnerable is good, for you have a lesson to learn. You must let someone else assist. You can't do life all by yourself. Once you shift your expectations, you'll be amazed by how quickly help arrives to give you a leg up. Cosmic, what message do we have for Gemini in July of 2020? Hope. Behind the passing dark clouds, the sun still shines bright. Nari. Feeling overwhelmed, disconnected, afraid, and defeated are a few of the symptoms you can experience when passing through an emotional storm. All is not as it seems. The passing storm will uncover suppressed emotional energy that is in need of clearing and balancing. As challenging as it may seem, see the passing gray clouds as an opportunity to grow, learn, heal, and transform limiting behavioral patterns and beliefs. It is not about staying positive through the storm. It's about understanding and truly seeing the imbalances and wounds within you that attract this energy to your space. Clouds do pass and will continue to pass until you learn to truly see the underlying message and lesson. Only then will you transcend the fear and irritability of these challenging cycles. Once you are able to understand your magnetic connection to the challenges that surround you and heal those imbalances with love, storms will cease to affect you as they once did. For now, there is a stillness and hope in knowing that the sun still shines bright behind the passing dark clouds. It is then, through the renewed clarity, inner knowing, and strength, that you will be able to manifest a life of choice. For no more will you see passing storms as a destructive force to be reckoned with, but rather an opportunity to evolve to higher states of conscious understanding. It is through this act alone that you are reborn to a world of wondrous manifestations and fulfilled dreams. Prayer. Holy Spirit, please guide me to see this situation with deeper clarity, love, and understanding. Associated chakra, sacral. Isis Oracle, what message do you have for Gemini in July of 2020? Ancient Power Mysteries. Hear the rattle of Isis playing. The rattle of Isis, the sistrum, is playing in the hand of the goddess now. Can you sense it with your inner hearing? Its vibration reaches through your crown chakra and enters your body, initiating you into great ancient power mysteries of sound, creativity, and healing. This is a time when words and music will become increasingly important on your spiritual path and healing journey. When the Lady Isis initiates a beloved into her ancient mysteries, life can become quite interesting. An initiate of Isis does not just learn new ideas as a student, but is thrown into the experience of the mysteries in real day-to-day living so that they may be truly mastered in our lives and then utilized in service to help the lives of others too, so that one day all beings will be healed and whole according to the will of the Divine Feminine. The rattle of Isis initiates us into the mysteries of sound healing and creation through vibration. If we listen carefully with our inner ear, we can hear the sounds of the universe alive. We can sense and hear with our inner ear the movement of planets, the beating of the heart of Mother Earth, and the music of the goddess, guiding us through sound, helping our souls to dance and move, and our lives to heal. You're guided to use words that reflect the experience you would like to create in your life. It may involve shifting how you speak, for example, rather than focusing on struggle or what is not working, focusing on the signs of life and healing that you experience. This may also include using chant, incantation, and prayer. It may also involve singing or playing a musical instrument or using sound for healing through the voice of another instrument, such as crystal bowls, rattles, keyboard, or string, or wood instruments, and letting the sound move you. You may use this healing for yourself, but if you are a healer, this oracle can guide you to explore this in your healing with others. The oracle guides you to honor the power of your voice, whether through spoken or sung words, and in what you write, speak about, or stand for symbolically also. You have a potentially very powerful healing voice, and you are guided to recognize the responsibility that you have for what you proclaim through your voice. Is it acknowledgement of freedom, respect, and love for others? Do you use your powerful speech with wisdom and kindness in order to help you master the ancient mysteries of the sistrum? Use your beautiful voice with spiritual responsibility and wisdom. You also need to acknowledge where you have used your power to manipulate others to get your own way or failed to be respectful. Forgive yourself aloud and ask for forgiveness in person or spiritually if doing so in person is not possible or appropriate. Often initiates don't realize where they are not conscious until thrown into initiation, which helps us become more aware and grow. It can be confronting to become aware of issues that need healing within us that we had no prior awareness of, and it can be tempting to criticize or judge ourselves. Choose not to do so. Be kind to yourself. We are all learning. Allow Lady Isis to help you find your way through to wise use of the power of sound. What you will learn through the initiation of the sistrum is an understanding that your words are powerful and create resonances. You will become able to create divine sound through music and speech for creating, and manifestation. As you do so, your power to generate consciously cultivated higher frequencies will grow, and you will feel more masterful in managing your moods and the ability of your environment. You can manage karmic responsibility for what you create through the spiritual intention to be of service and healing. Then we all benefit from your growth. Remember, just as your body may naturally wish to dance when you hear a wonderful piece of music with your physical ears, so too when the inner ear of the soul hears the cosmic tune of the Divine Mother urging growth, healing, and greater joy. The soul wishes to move and our lives change. If this is happening for you already, and you are feeling the onset of perhaps quite deep upheaval and change, know that it is a part of your initiation into the ancient power mysteries, and your soul is dancing. Trust in the flow. Work with your words to bring yourself into alignment with your soul, remembering that the soul resonates with love, bliss, abundance, peace, joy, and connection with all that is. Focus on these kinds of energies, and your words will help you align with your soul and generally feel the peace beneath the changes you are experiencing in your life. Starseed, what message do we have for Gemini in July of 2020? the cosmic heart. Devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. When you surrender to a state of devotion, you find yourself flowing with all of life. You're being called to refocus your attention deep within, to the intelligence of your own heart, to bow with deep reverence to your inner temple, to live your life in devotion to this place, to make your life one big moving prayer. Perhaps you felt a bit off kilter lately, sensing that the potency of why you're doing things has gotten a little watered down or weak. Perhaps you've forgotten what made you start doing them in the first place. If so, this is your call to take a moment and reconnect with the truth at the very center of your heart, to give back to the essence of what you're about, to devote your life to what you care most about, to turn your gaze deep, 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 deep. There are seasons for harvesting and seasons for sowing. Right now, you're being called to plant your soul seeds and sing to them with deep devotion, to feed them with the sweet waters of your own soul, to lose yourself in the potency of what it is that most expands your heart, to live your life according to what makes you come alive, rather than what everyone else thinks, to make your life one big moving prayer. Starseed Soul Inquiry. How can you make your life a moving prayer? And that's your reading, Gemini. Thanks for watching. Hey, go to my Patreon, become a Patreon. Click the email and email me, or click the links below. See you next month.